Hey guys, happy Friday to everybody. It is definitely happy Friday for sure. So I'm here to make this video because, well, I have been inundated with a lot of messages from so many people. So I had no plans on speaking about this. I actually told my friends, I'm not going to speak any further on this. I'm just going to stay out of it. However, because I have been messaged so much, I decided I'm just going to make the video, share my thoughts, and hopefully people will stop messaging me, asking me, what are my thoughts? What do you think? And oh my gosh, can you believe this? And just the shock and awe, which is so surprising to me. So there's so much back and forth and turmoil within the doll community and hobby surrounding counterfeit kits, fake dolls, whatever we want to label them, replicas, people call them replicas. I think they're trying to make it look a little bit better by calling it a replica versus, a counterfeit or a stolen kit. This is the turmoil, the biggest turmoil that I've seen, this just going on and on and on and on and on for both sides in our community for 3 years now? I mean, it's always been around, but it's been most talked about in the last 3 years. So what I'm going to state is I predicted this would be the outcome. I predicted that this would be an ongoing thing. I predicted that, the mob mentality was not going to work. The lynch mob mentality towards the collectors that are buying these replicas, fakes, counterfeits, it wasn't going to work. I predicted it in a video back in December of 2021. I'll link it below because you guys can go back and watch. If you haven't seen it, most of you probably seen it. However, the level of spite and defiance in this hobby is palpable still. In fact, it's probably worse now than it was at the beginning of all this. And when I say the beginning of all this, as long as there's been products or items that are highly sought after, there have been companies out there from China, from other countries, from wherever, that are going to make replicas or make, copy it, steal it, and sell it, because it's literally what, products of services and goods and things, that's just what they do. Anything of popularity, there's going to be some sort of knockoff. It's just what it is. For anything that's popular that they can make money on, there will be stolen and copied and replicated to sell at a cheaper price. And there's always going to be a consumer out there who's going to buy it, no matter what the reason, no matter how much you try to tell them they shouldn't. So what's happened is, what I predicted back in December of 2021 is that you can try to educate people, right? You can try to educate collectors to the reasons why they shouldn't buy the fakes and the counterfeits. You can do all of the education. You can explain to them how it can hurt the hobby, it can hurt the artists. You can do all of that. And let me just state for the fact, I'm going to put this right out there so there's no confusion. I do not support fakes, replicas, stolen kits. I only buy authentic dolls and kits and sculpts. I will forever say over and over again, I will never buy a fake. I will never buy a counterfeit. And that's just my stance. So anybody else out there that wants to try to put me in the category of being friends with or knowing people that have replicas and have fakes and stolen kits, and how awful I am because I'm not, going after these people. No. I will explain both sides and why this has happened. I don't support people who buy fakes. I strongly support and will stand behind our artists and buying authentic only. However, I'm going to point out how both sides in this whole situation are to blame for where we are right now currently with this situation of so many just being defiant and spiteful and running out and buying fakes. I'm going to explain to you why both sides are in the wrong, in my opinion. This is clearly only my opinion, but I'm going to share it because to me it's quite obvious. To my friends and I, my friends and I have chatted about this. It's like, we saw this coming. Come on, guys. It's not that hard to figure out why this is happening. So I'm going to start by saying the lynch mob mentality to go after collectors who have either purchased a fake or know people that purchased fakes or follow someone that purchased a fake. The lynch mob mentality of a few collectors, I mean, you know the ones, guys. You know the ones out there that will go on and make a 5-hour live stream bitching and complaining and name calling and name checking and trying to blacklist anybody that would be associated, or I at this point, I'm convinced that if you even looked and glanced in the direction of anybody that ever had a fake, then you're being name checked. You're being called out for being a supporter of fakes, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know the group. And right from the start, I pointed out that if you, that group of collectors, want to call out, attack, name call, people will call them bullies. I'm just saying it's a lynch mob mentality where you think it's like your plight. It's like you've made it your job to go out and seek out every single collector out there that may have had anything to do with anybody that ever looked at a freaking fake. Then you're going to be nasty to them. It's the wrong approach. I said it back in 2021. It was the wrong approach then. It's still the wrong approach. So what's happened is because that group of collectors got so nasty and so foul and were telling people, you can't do this, you shouldn't do this, and you're awful, and you're going to get blacklisted, and I'm going to call you out, and then make live streams and videos calling out people that half the time were not even anything to do with, they had never purchased a fake, they had nothing to do with fakes. However, by calling them out, by being nasty, by trying to get them blacklisted, what this group of collectors has done is they've actually created a situation where even if certain collectors were not in support of fakes, they suddenly felt like, well, I'm not going to be told what to do. And anybody that has ever been told what to do, you either do one of two things. You either do exactly what they tell you not to do because you don't want to be told what to do, or you conform. Most adults will make the choice of, I'm going to do what I'm going to want to do, and nobody's going to tell me. That's the spite. That's the defiance. They, in fact, these group of collectors, you can thank them. The artists out there who are freaking out and so upset, the fact that you called on any collector to do any type of calling out or attacking or blacklisting of any collector who ever supported a fake, well, you helped this whole situation come to a boiling point because you've encouraged this group of collectors to go after people. It doesn't work. So the other side of it, these collectors who are out there buying fakes left and right, promoting them on their channels, almost rubbing it in artists' face, they're doing it because they've been told they shouldn't. Now, here's the thing. I don't agree with people that are buying the fakes. I don't see why you'd want to spend your money on something that's a fake. It's not even done well. Not one single one I've ever seen is like worth writing home about. They're garbage, basically. That's how I feel about the fakes. So the collectors that are over here making videos, oh look, I got a new fake. Oh look, I got a new replica. And they're loud and proud about it. They can't wait to make a video to just throw it in that group of collectors' faces who shamed them, tried to shame them, tried to bully them, tried to name check them, blacklist them, whatever, call them out. They're doing it out of spite because they've been told they can't do this. And nobody's going to tell an adult collector what they can and cannot spend their money on. That's ridiculous to think that any of us have any power over what someone spends their money on. Just like I would never expect someone to tell me what I can and cannot spend my money on. Do I agree with these collectors that are spending money, in my eyes, wasting their money in buying these counterfeit dolls, these fakes? No, I don't agree with it. And so to them, I say, for all of their complaining that they don't want to be called out, they don't want to be told what to do, and how awful are artists to tell us what we can and can't spend our money on, well, then you get what you get. So to those collectors out there that are publicly posting and showing off their counterfeit dolls, you get what you get. So I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for them at all that they get the backlash, because it's expected at this point in time. When you put something like that out on social media and you're promoting it and you're rubbing it in the artist's face, you're gonna get backlash. So it is what it is. You gotta expect that you're gonna have some negativity. However, that being said, just because you might know someone that has purchased a replica, fake, counterfeit, I don't even know what to call them, because they're just garbage dolls. They're not collectible items. In my opinion, they're not even worth collecting, and they're just a waste of your money, whatever. If you want a boatload of ugly looking, cheap, awful, not even artist dolls, so be it. I don't consider that a true collector. In the end, if you're not buying authentic, I don't consider you a real part of a true reborn doll collecting hobby, because it's not reborn. It's just a manufactured, slapped on color, just like any other doll you can walk into Walmart and buy. It's no different, except that it's based off of a stolen kit that they shouldn't have rights to have. Now, so collectors that are buying these, promoting them, making videos saying blah, 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 I'm gonna have what I want, well, you get what you get. But to the other side, to the artists who I firmly stand behind, some of the artists out there have taken to Facebook, Instagram, I don't know if I've seen anybody on YouTube, but they've taken to social media platforms to basically say, whoever out there is buying my stolen kit, oh my gosh, you need to remove yourself from my page, and oh my gosh, and the amount of hatred. Like, I get artists being upset. I get that. Your art has been stolen. However, do all the things to protect yourself. Copyright your artwork. Do all the things that put you in a place where you can actually have a leg to stand on and go to these companies who are selling the replicas, the fakes, the stolen kits, so that you actually can tell them you have the rights and they don't. It's as simple as that. At this point, it has become very simple. If you don't do that, then I don't think that you should be complaining. Because, listen, like, everything of value and of popularity gets stolen. It's like nature of all things that are sought after, that make money. So to expect that you shouldn't have to copyright and protect your work, well, that's silly. But you also cannot have hatred for the collectors that may have knowledge of someone in their circles, because we come across so many different collectors. You can't possibly know as a collector what every other collector is buying. It's impossible. So to basically tell anybody that's ever had any affiliation with anyone that's touched a fake, don't follow me, unfollow me, you don't have the right to have this art, and oh my gosh, the amount of nastiness, the level of nastiness is unnecessary. You can be upset at the fact that there are companies out there stealing art and replicating it. You can be very upset. You have all the right in the world to be upset about that as an artist, especially if you've copyrighted your art. But you cannot enable and encourage other collectors to go after those people that are buying them. It's just not helping things. In fact, it's pushed so many people because they don't want to be told what to do. So it's pushed them to run out, and more people have purchased fakes because of the lynch mob group that attacked people, that went after them, because they're going to prove to them, I'm not going to be told what to do. So by enabling, encouraging certain collectors, we know the collectors, we know the group, by enabling them and encouraging them to call out people, it's literally made this far worse than it ever would have probably been if people just continue to educate, continue to share why it's important that you buy authentic, why it's just as easy and even better to save up your money and buy an authentic reborn versus the crap you can buy on wherever they sell them, because they sell them everywhere now. If we had just followed the route of let's continue to educate, let's stand behind our artists, let's explain why it's detrimental to the hobby long term, I don't think we would have had as many collectors loud and proud about it. I think people would have been very respectful. But when you're disrespected, you're not going to get respect in return. It goes both ways. It's like they say, hate the game, don't hate the player, because the folks at fault here truly are the companies that are stealing the kits and making these knockoffs. They're the ones to blame. But as long as those items are out there, there's always going to be a consumer that's ready to pay for that said item. And you can't control what people will buy with their money. It's just simply not how the world works. And attacking and being nasty is not the way to go about it. It's just not. I have no hatred for either side because I understand why it's happened. I predicted that it would happen 2.5 years ago, guys. I predicted this. I hate to say that I'm right, but I was right. Because I know generally people don't like being told what to do. And when people start name calling and trying to blacklist them, and then half the time the people out there that are seeking these people out and doing the name calling and name checking and blacklisting, they don't even get it right. They don't even get it right, which is mind-blowing to me because I was even lumped into this category by this lynch mob group. Why? Because they just dislike me. And so ultimately, what that did is they did that to a lot of people. They started naming people that had nothing to do with fakes. So you've got this random group of people that think that they're out there doing, the artist's bidding, doing the protecting of the artist, when in fact, they've made this whole situation so much worse than it ever needed to be. And they were name checking and blacklisting people that never had anything to do with fakes because these people dislike some. And so they figured it was okay to just lump them in. Why? I don't know. Just out of, again, spite. Both sides have a lot of spite going on. There's no reason to have hatred in your heart for anybody in this community. Just none. There's no reason for it. Even if you know of a collector that is buying regularly replicas, so be it. You hating them is only going to affect you. It's not helping, it's not making them change their minds. In fact, the more hatred that you spew towards them, the more they buy them and then they rub them in your face. They show it off because, well, they're not going to be told what to do. Like, everybody has the right to make their own choices in this hobby. That's what it boils down to. None of us have the right to tell anybody else what they can and cannot buy. You might have strong feelings about it. You might have good reasoning for those strong feelings, but you, at the end of the day, can only control your own behavior. You can only control what you yourself are doing. And as long as you, as a collector, support art artists, support authentic, that is the best you're probably going to get in this hobby. That's probably the best. And if you continue to educate in a kind manner, it's all about respect. If you give respect, you will get it. If you continue to educate people on why it's so important to just buy authentic only, save up your money. You can afford it if you save your money. If you just continue to share that information, and you're not blacklisting, and you're not attacking, and you're not making hours-long live streams, calling people names, not even getting the people's names right that actually are buying the replicas and fakes. Like, be kind. Like, artists, I understand that you're frustrated, you're upset, I would be too, but you have to do your part and protect your art. Protect your art, do all the things that you can do, and I've seen more and more artists doing that, and then they have a leg to stand on. Then they can actually go and say, here's my copywriting, you don't have rights to this, and then they get removed. Artists that do that are making it so much easier to get those items off of the market. But don't keep coming for the collectors that are buying them. Like, it's a moot point. You're only going to drive them to buy more of them by attacking them. Just let people buy what they're gonna buy. Where the fight needs to be taken is directly to these companies. And the more we get those removed, the less there are out there that are able to be purchased by whoever, collectors or people that wanna buy them. And you're never going to stop it completely. You have to accept the fact that as long as there's a company out there seeking to find something they can make money on, they're gonna copy and they're gonna steal what they can. It's just nature of doing business. It is. It's like saying that you can get rid of fake Louis Vuitton bags. It's never gonna happen. There's always gonna be a Chinese company out there, most likely, that's going to replicate that, and they're gonna continue to sell them. They're already in the market. They're there. It's never going away. And it's just part of doing business. You have to accept that. And I know it's hard for artists to accept that, but it is truly how life is. It's how it works. You're not going to change it. The way you can really fight it is copyright all of your art. And then you have something in which you can take to the companies and a leg to stand on. But stop coming for collectors. It's a moot point, guys. The more you keep coming for collectors, the more they're gonna run out and buy them and then make a video showing them off. And they're gaining more and more popularity because there's so many of them that feel that they have been wronged and attacked, and they just won't stand for it. So you just got this constant pulling, this back and forth that's so unnecessary. If you just let bygones be bygones, collectors will collect what they're gonna collect, continue to educate, continue to talk about it, that's fine. Educate to why we need to keep supporting the artist's work, that's fine. But stop attacking people. It's not gonna get you anywhere. In fact, it's just gonna make this bigger and bigger and bigger when we can all just be respectful, be kind, and then at the end of the day, you might find that the less people keep bringing up this situation and going after people, the less you'll hear about it, the less you'll see it, and the less people are actually buying them, which is a good thing. Hi, Rue. Hi. Yeah. So again, I'm not surprised that there's been this constant blow up. It dies down, you don't hear a bit about it, and then suddenly an artist will post something on Facebook or on social media on their Instagram account, and then it becomes this whole fight all over again. And I'm sure there'll be a live stream made by someone, the ones again, that group. I'm sure there'll be a live stream, and they will not have learned their lesson, and they will probably continue to name check, and I'm sure that someone will speak badly about me for even speaking on it, but this is not surprising. So change up what you're doing, guys. If you change up what you're doing and start approaching people with kindness instead of remove yourself, I'm gonna block you. Remove that attitude and you approach people with kindness and respect, you'll get a lot more in return. And I think that you'd have a lot less animosity amongst both sides in the community. And again, I stand with our artists. I will only buy authentic. I'm going to end on this. So to that group, don't lump me in. You've tried it before. Do not lump me in with anybody that's in support of counterfeits, because I do not support counterfeits. I just understand how we got here. I totally understand. And you went about it the wrong way. I tried to warn you guys. That group, I tried to warn them in December of 2021. I'll say that one more time. I'm going to beat that dead horse, because I did warn them. I said, try something different, because attacking them will not work. I predicted this would be the end result, and it's going to continue to fester and build and continue everybody making their hateful videos and spiteful videos and attacking videos. It's unnecessary on both sides. Like, enough. Let artists protect their work and let collectors buy what they're going to buy, because nobody's going to tell anybody else what they can and cannot buy with their money. And if people just acknowledge that and understand that and accept it, we can all move on, right? We can all move on. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you guys are having a great Friday. And I'm just glad the weekend's here. But anyways, guys, again, be kind. It's not necessary to attack people. There's no reason in this world why there should be the amount of hatred that I see back and forth in this hobby. It's just unnecessary. Like, just be happy. Be happy and enjoy the hobby. That's all I can keep saying, is just be kind, be happy, enjoy the hobby, enjoy your dolls. Make it fun, make it light. But there's my 2 cents for all of everybody that messaged me over and over and over again, wanting me to talk about it, wanting me to share my thoughts on it. Well, these are my thoughts. So anyways, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your Friday, and we'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.